Sorry for the fan noise. It's kind of hot in Vietnam. Okay. Back to the keycap situation. Uh, so much version here. So I try to make different size keycap since the last time. So I basically have my whole numpad area. So like Ichi, San, Shi, Go, Roku, Nana, Hachi, Q, and something about 0. Oh my god, there's so much to show. I think this could be a milestone. 1 second. So, text legend. This is like 2U with the top surface only. So only the top, no front LED cover over here. Yeah, these one have the front LED cover, but these do not, because I found a lot of the time I don't really enjoy using the LED, especially on my carry-on keyboard. Even though we have a much nicer LED system, it just unnecessarily drain the battery, especially for people who touch type like me. I probably should have added a dimple on that Go. This is a bit confusing. Okay, so let me get back to the 1U. Minimum 1U, top only. Okay, that one. So that is the one, just the top. Some fillet to round out the corner, some chamfer to counter the elephant foot and make sure the top edge isn't being sharp without needing to sand anything. So came off the bat ready to use without any over extrusion on the side, although I think there's still a tiny little bit of over extrusion on the corner of this character over here, so like 8. Yeah, even though I have performed like automatic flow dynamic calibration, so 1mm fillet might not be enough. So there are a couple of things I want to add. So this version is basically very thin. Okay, it should turn off. This is what I don't understand why it sounds differently. So like definitely sounds quieter. So like a bit higher, it have a bit of a higher pitch. Yeah, but for some keys I don't really understand where the inconsistency came from. So in all cases it still sounds a lot more high pitch, because I guess there isn't a lot of space around the keycap to capture the sound. So it will definitely benefit my silent keyboard setup. Not this one though. This one have like a linear switch which can, well, I actually appreciate the sound at home only. So all these are printed with the black color first. This is just a single layer, so printed with the black layer first, and then all the black character, and then the white background. And the rest of the keys, I don't know if you can see that, the rest of the keys are white, and because of that there are usually some color bleeding like those. So in comparison, yeah, so after it printed the black section, it tried to purge and then print the white section. The problem is that it can pick up a little bit of filament from the black section as well. So the first thing to note is that I really need to purge until the filament came out white before I can start printing the prime tower. And that's the reason why. And even if I do that, there can still be a bit of bleeding, color bleeding. You can see on the 7, 8 and 7, 8 and 6 there is a tiny, there's actually a lot of color bleeding that make the keycap looks dirty. So somewhat of a fix to that is to print the brighter color first and then the darker color. Another problem that came from that is the text being less crisp. So like on this character or this character, the text are extremely crisp, but on this character, so I think I have this one, so it looks extremely crisp, but on this one it have a bit of a fuzzy layer. Yeah, if we zoom in like that, really fuzzy. So even like at a typing distance like this, barely an inconvenience, but it actually removes a lot of the clarity that I like from 0.2mm nozzle printing. So that is definitely a drawback. So I also have the same type of problem printing these keycaps. Same stuff with the color bleed. I try to print the red section and then white for the entire thing. But yeah, you can see a very clear color bleed over there. Make the entire top section pink as well. Try to replicate that one, but failed. So definitely involve a lot of purging. Yeah, so that is my new design for the top layer. So usable now. So I made some improvement for the stress relief chamfer. There is just a tiny 0.2mm chamfer, not much to be honest. So most of those are still held on by the layer adhesion. Currently it still works fine as long as I don't encounter any under extrusion problem like with these keycaps. And so what else? So there has been a feedback on that I got on Reddit that I should there's a gap in the market about top layer shine through legend for south facing LED. So my type is south facing, which means the LEDs is under. North facing, which would be over here. And the popular version is sort of like, I think they call it ninja type legends. That is, the legend is on the front, and the top is basically blank or have some kind of print on it. And the way they did that is that they double shot, so the outer layer is completely opaque, but the inner layer have a different kind of clear, semi-clear plastic, semi-transparent plastic that allow the light to shine through. And sorry, I have been pretty sick lately. Okay, get back. Okay, so the problem with this type of printing is that it can affect on the color clarity of a couple character, especially if it got a little bit too thin. So this is basically just two lines. This is three lines of extrusion. Just two lines made the text pretty dim comparing to printing the text first. Yeah. And I also try to capitalize on the south facing legend by trying out on the braille character to make some sort of interesting pattern, hole punching pattern. And I forgot that yeah, the LEDs only extend in the center, not the side. So I need to take note of that as well. But I actually love the braille design a little bit. Yeah. consider that they're just dots that can be made. Definitely I should look into how to avoid the color bleed, because yeah, even on this situation you can see the patch over here have a bit of a color bleed. So try to make that, and now I can make like 2.25U and 2U keycap. So this is the plus, and enter is also 2U. So let me know in the comments what should I add for those layers. Shift key on the house. I'm trying to avoid the important keys that I used to type all the time, and focus on the like function keys, F row, so like full screen, Blackwall AI's Blackwall gateway, because I rename stuff, rewrite stuff with the F2 keys. F3 is a quick macro search from like snatching what is on YouTube search bar and pasting it on Google. So like hit this button and go from YouTube to Google for my search result. The rest is just prototyping, like full screen, back to like back. I think this is like an extension itself. Is it? So like baku, or like bakus, bakusu, yeah, so like backspace, and this is the braille equivalent. The dot is a little bit small, but the height seems to be correct. So yeah, the spacing is the real problem. Maybe I should look into that. Let's see, I think this is good already. I don't have a lot of problem about the typing performance on the backspace and enter as well. Most of them has been okay, except for these buttons, because they have a pretty big chamfer and that can cause them to be stuck. So that's why I have to replace them with the newer version. And that is basically my current journey with custom keycaps, minimal style, different profiles. So like instead of trying to adhere to the like ergonomically proven curve, I try to think outside the box a little. That make some dimension, make some custom aesthetic, maybe some kanji character. Try to push the limit of what my 3D printer can do. And that is about it. So as I remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. See you on the next step.